So it's the second day and the CBI team is at Sushant Singh Rajput's Bandra residence for another round of investigation. Sources are telling India Today that the recreation of the crime scene inside actor's apartment will be conducted again. CBI team is looking for fresh evidence in the building, also having taken possession of a register, which is the visitors register from the security guard, clearly in an attempt to ensure they know who all came in those days. Earlier in the day, the probe agency also questioning the late actor's cook Neeraj, apartment mate Siddharth Pithani. According to sources, the CBI found inconsistencies in the statement given by the duo. They are repeatedly being asked about sequence of events to match on 13th and 14th June. India Today has now learnt that CBI may quiz Sushant's partner Rhea Chakraborty, who is also facing accusations of allegedly siphoning off money of the late actor and abetment to suicide.
It's the second visit of CBI at Sushant Singh Rajput's house. We are showing you these visuals of this house where a forensic team and CBI is present. Also present are the key witnesses who were with Sushant Singh Rajput when this incident took place. The recreation of crime and also collecting whatever forensic evidence possible is the task which CBI has had at their end, and they want that these things should be completed so that they can build up a case. Remember, CBI has not yet recorded Rhea Chakraborty's statement and they want to confront her with all the facts. There are stories coming out about inconsistencies in the statements which are being given by the witnesses, but at this point of time CBI is at the task at Sushant Singh Rajput's house. With camera person Mangesh Ambre, Mustafa Sheikh in Mumbai for India Today.
And Munish Pandey now joining me. He's been there at the residence. Munish, one question many would want to know. Why recreate the scene again for the second day after it was done for the first day? And what is this contradictions that according to the CBI is between two people, very crucial, who have seen the actor before and after the demise? Over to you, Manish.
Pooja, these are the live visuals of CBI team. There is a high speculation that they are leaving and the recreation of crime scene has been conducted and it is over, so they might leave in some time. These are the live visuals. Apart from that, why there was a need of again recreating the crime scene is because yesterday when the Central Bureau of Investigation came here with the forensic experts, then they recorded the videotaped the entire recreation, the crime scene, but what in the afternoon, the experts found that there are some doubts which needs to be clear. Now, this was about the hanging sequence of Sushant Singh Rajput because they also analyzed the injury marks which he had on his neck and the marks which were left after his hanging, the alleged hanging. So, after that doubt, the CBI again, decided to come along with the three witnesses in the case, that is Neeraj, Siddharth Pithani and the other person Dipesh Sawant. Along with that...
How many hours have they been inside if they are leaving now? You have been there in the morning. We have these live visuals now on our screens about CBI team at the apartment again. But have they left already? Have they returned? Have they been there since morning? Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, they came here around 2:30 in the afternoon, and since then they are here. So we can say that more than 3.5 hours have gone and they are still inside now. But they are leaving now. It means the recreation of the crime scene is over, and now the doubts which were raised by the expert that has been resolved. Now, what was interesting today during the crime scene is that again Siddharth Pithani, Neeraj and Dipesh Sawant were asked to give their testimony, a better understanding of where exactly and what exactly happened on 14th. Now, they also asked that when Siddharth Pithani first entered inside the flat, then where was Sushant, what he saw. So these are going to be very crucial. And now, Pooja, these are the live visuals. CBI team is leaving, and this is going to be something very important for the CBI. Today's day is something which the CBI wants to clarify one thing, that whether it's a case of suicide or murder. So here is the CBI team. We have the live visuals of the CBI team leaving from Sushant's residence. the SP of Central Bureau of Investigation, Nupur Prasad, along with the investigative officer, Anil Yadav, and the forensic experts, all of them can be seen. Now, this day is very crucial for CBI because now they have recreated the crime scene. Also, Siddharth Pitani, Neeraj, and Deepesh Sawant are also in the on your screen, which you are seeing at this point of time. And now what CBI will be doing is that they will again go through.
All right, so these are the live visuals on your screen. Munish, if you can hear me, who was that individual in the orange shirt? Who was that man in the blue shirt? If you remember, they were in that vehicle. Were they part of the CBI team? Were they the ones who were asked to accompany? Were they Siddharth Pitani and the cook?
Yeah, well, the person in the orange T-shirt, that person is given to, I have been given to understand that that person is Deepesh Sawant, the other person is Neeraj, and the third person is Siddharth Pitani. So a lot of action is happening outside the Central Bureau of Investigation, that's when the CBI team is leaving from Sushant's residence, and because this is going to be one final, crime scene recreation task for the Central Bureau of Investigation, and tomorrow we are expecting that Rhea Chakraborty will also be questioned. So the last vehicle which you just saw, Siddharth Pitani, was in the same vehicle. So again, Pooja, why this was important? Because they wanted to clear all the doubts, and by evening or tomorrow morning, CBI will have a clarity that whether it's a case of
So Rhea Chakraborty expected to be questioned tomorrow, not today anymore. I saw 3 vehicles there when you were giving us this live update, Munish. So 3 vehicles would account to how many officials of the CBI in total, and of course plus 3 you're telling us who were the last to see the actor alive.
Yeah, well, Pooja, this team was very small because there was a small doubt which the CBI wanted to clarify. Yesterday there were almost 2 dozen, there were 9 vehicles, 2 dozen forensic experts, and almost 5 to 6 CBI officials. Along with that, 3 eyewitnesses in the case. Now today the team was very small, almost 4 to 5 forensic experts. Apart from that, the 2 CBI officials, the SP and the investigative officers, and 2 inspector rank CBI officials were today, recreated the crime scene. Apart from that, one team was already looking for the evidence in the case, and they were accompanied by the 3 witnesses to recreate the scene, and also Mumbai policemen who were the first responded the day Sushant died. They were also present at the spot, because this is not only about recreating scene, this is also about inconsistencies in the event of chain which unfolded that particular day. Siddharth has said something, Neeraj has said something, and the policemen have said something. Everything has to be synced so that the CBI can have a clear picture, and this is why today's recreation was very important.
So here's the point, Munish. If the CBI is saying that there is an inconsistency in these statements, that also means there is something suspicious. If they were together at the same time, at the same place, why would there be difference in their statements? So one of them clearly is not giving a complete picture. So do you think CBI will want to find out that too, and that is why their questioning may continue?
Yeah, this is a very big lead for Central Bureau of Investigation in the entire case, because inconsistency means that one person out of 3 persons is lying, and CBI wants to clarify. This morning they started again grilling Deepesh Sawant and Siddharth Pitani, Neeraj, because Neeraj is a person who has been grilled from day one. CBI thinks that he is a person who is a weak link, and he is a person who is changing his statement. What he told the Mumbai police, the exact statement has not been given to the Central Bureau of Investigation. And what he told about Siddharth Pitani has said little different. So inconsistency is something which the CBI is already suspecting, and now CBI will again confront them. They will make them sit together so that they can understand if any person is lying or it's a small inconsistency where there is nothing suspicious. These things have to be ruled out, and that is why this is going to be very crucial for the CBI and the investigators. And recreation is already complete. Now the only focus will be on these three people, their statements, and tomorrow we are expecting that Rhea Chakraborty
Munish, I can see that around you there is also a downpour, rainfall. I hope you find yourself a safe point. You have been ensuring, taking all that trouble to get us all the latest, all the close visuals and all the inside scoop as well. So Munish Pandey continues to be with us. But Munish, if I can ask you again, that are we expecting, or do you have any information that the team may return to the house tomorrow, or they will now perhaps want to shift to other aspects of the autopsy report, send it to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences team led by Dr. Sudhir Gupta? They will want to question Rhea Chakraborty now. That's also getting delayed. So there will be now added additions. They are done with the house for now, likely according to your sources.
Yeah, well, Pooja, this is the third day for the Central Bureau of Investigation in Mumbai, the SIT team. Now, in 3 days, it has been a very action-packed all 3 days. And the first priority of the CBI is to rule out whether it's a case of murder or it's a case of suicide. The second priority is, if it is a case of suicide, then what led Sushant take this step. Now, for that thing, they need something concrete, because there is not much of evidence. Whatever they have got it from Mumbai police. So first they analyzed the photograph of the crime scene, they recreated the crime scene. The second focus is on the three witnesses, because these are the three persons who know everything about what happened on 13th and 14th, and especially on 14th. There is no one else who can give the exact testimony of about 14th. So
therefore, very curious, Munish, why are their statements so inconsistent? I request you to please stay on with me, because we want to look at all angles. We want to look at specifically the scientific versions that are available, and that will give a better lead to the agencies possibly. So the controversy now over is also of a missing timestamp. But I want to also stay with these visuals. Our teams are tracking. So on the right side, you can see the CBI team that is leaving. The visuals Munish got us. On the other, these are the vehicles on the streets of Mumbai amid a heavy downpour. So remember what Munish just told us. He told us that today, this was a smaller batch of the Central Bureau of Investigation team. On the first day, there were about 9 vehicles. There were about 24 officers, including the 2 people, Siddharth Pithani and the cook. But now, today, there were 3 people, including with another house manager, Dipesh Sawant. And therefore, while the team is now heading, they have also been told that these 3 men, very crucial with their testimonies, are not going to be let go right away. They are being kept at a guest house. It's a DRDO guest house. That's where the team has ensured they stay put together, so that perhaps they're not able to interact anymore, or perhaps change their stance in any way, or just get away, because they, according to Munish Pandey also telling us, are perhaps the most crucial. They are the ones who saw the late actor before and after, and they will have the most crucial aspects to mention, because otherwise, with Rhea Chakraborty, she was not there, as of now, information coming in at the house at that point. So therefore, she is facing other kind of accusations, but for people to have been there, for the locksmith to have been called, they are clearly in very significant position. Munish, as I return to you, we are staying with some of these visuals of the vehicles that are on their way now, likely to the guest house. So today as well, do you think that these 3 people are going to be put up in the same guest house? They're not going to be let go right away?
Yeah, of course, Pooja, because remember, this 3 days of grilling, Neeraj has been questioned thrice, Siddharth has been questioned twice, Dipesh has been questioned twice by the CBI. Now, why CBI is grilling so much only these 3 people? Because till now they have only questioned about 13th and 14th. Now the focus on these 3 people will shift from 6th of June to 12th of June, because CBI thinks that if it is a case of suicide, then there is some connection between June 8, the day Rhea left, and June 14 when Sushant died. So this is something which is the CBI, according to CBI, is going to be important because they want to understand that what happened on 6th and 7th that Rhea left. Was there any fight between Sushant? And once Rhea left, was any of the person out of these three in contact with Rhea Chakraborty? If any person was in contact, then why was the person in contact with? What was he talking to Rhea Chakraborty? Was there any instruction from Rhea Chakraborty? So these are going to be something very important. This has happened between 6th June to 12th June. So this now in the second leg of questioning of these three people, CBI will be questioning about what happened between 6th June and 12th June. Also, they will analyze the behavior of Sushant Singh Rajput through the statement given by these three people, because if after Rhea left, how Sushant was feeling, did he meet anyone,
Yes.
was there any conversation about, if he was feeling low or something, so that they can understand the mental status of Sushant Singh Rajput during these periods. So, the grilling session will continue for another day or two, we are given to understand. But tomorrow, because 13th and 14th picture is clear, the first round of questioning of Rhea Chakraborty may take place tomorrow at the residence of Rhea Chakraborty.
All right, so of course, whether or not there was any sort of conspiracy, any sort of foul play, though Mumbai police has said not yet, but CBI will be tracking all the latest different visuals on your screen of the house of the CBI team on their way back, of course, of the late actor Sushant Singh Rajput and his partner Rhea Chakraborty, who's facing some accusations as well. Munish, stay on with me, because now what has happened is, why was there a missing timestamp in the autopsy report? That's a controversy that has suddenly exploded. There are alleged glaring lapses in the autopsy report that has come to fore. India Today has accessed Mumbai Police's query to Cooper Hospital that had performed the autopsy. According to Mumbai Police, when they asked the hospital about the time of the death of the late actor, the hospital replied on 5th of August, and that is nearly 50 days after the demise of Sushant Singh Rajput, and they said that the time of death was 10 to 12 hours before post-mortem, and the post-mortem was done at 11:30 p.m. Mumbai Police claims, though the time of death was missing in autopsy reports, the same was communicated also to the CBI. CBI will also likely now question the team of doctors and the staff at Cooper Hospital that conducted the post-mortem. So, Munish, because you're tracking the investigation, this will now be an important switch, because this is more scientific. This will perhaps give them better lead of when possibly the death happened. But with Sudhir Gupta, who is the head of the AIMS team that is going to examine all these reports, his role is going to be very crucial. He's handled some very high-profile cases earlier as well, including the Sunanda Pushkar case as well. With Dr. Sudhir Gupta's team receiving these reports and also examined by CBI, do you think they will be banking a lot on these scientific evidence as well? Because that may give them, if there is any hint of poisoning, foul play.
Of course, Pooja, and just to give a sense of why these things are important, the forensics and the evidence are important, because 80% of the entire team of the Central Bureau of Investigation, which is investigating team, is of forensic experts. The 20% are of them are the investigators, the CBI officials. Now, why PM report is important in this entire case? Because, the witnesses can change their statement. There is no guarantee that they are telling truth to Mumbai Police or the Central Bureau of Investigation. But PM report is something which is very scientific. It will not lie. And this is why Sudhir Gupta, when we broke this story that a panel of doctor will be investigating this case and they will be, giving their opinion on the PM report. Now, what CBI claims that Dr. Sudhir Gupta has given his primary opinion that timestamp is something which is mandatory on all the post-mortem reports. I have been covering crime from more than a decade. I have seen so many post-mortem reports. Even if it is not a high-profile case, then also there is one column where you have to write that what may be the assumed time when the person died. But in this, there is no timestamp. Second, what is missing is this post-mortem report is something which is not giving too much of detail about what exactly has happened with Sushant Singh Rajput.
And perhaps this autopsy report, Munish, because I'm a little short on time here, if it was more elaborate, perhaps could have given a lot more information and makes for such a crucial evidence for now. Munish, thank you so much for constant updates to us on this case, and I'll come back to you shortly. But keep tracking all the latest. Munish Pandey is in Mumbai. I'm heading into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. I'm leaving you with these visuals of perhaps what next now by the CBI team. Will the scientific evidence could get them